well, we're going to talk now about the 3-year-olds. That's fine. I'm eating an apple. All I'm eating for the next 3 days. Apples. Got to get down to my fighting weight for Lexington. So, 3-year-olds are looking pretty good this year. We had a decent year, obviously. We didn't win the North American Cup yet. We're not in it, so we can't win it. Didn't win the Little Brown Jug yet. Not in it. We did not win the Meadowlands Pace. But we still got some good horses. Adrenaline Rush, still racing. We got him where he belongs now. Can he get around the half? I looked the other day. Even though he's trained down on a half, he's never raced on a half in his life, I don't think. I'll look again, but I don't think he has. So, Georgian Downs is closed down for the season. Let's see if he can do it Flamborough Downs or Grand River. Grand River, I think he's at. So Adrenaline Rush is in to go in the condition claimer. This is a good spot for him if he can get around this track. Small field on Monday, too. A lot of short fields out there right now. Not just in Ontario, everywhere. So Adrenaline Rush, we'll see if he can do on Monday. First Glance has been doing great, continues to do great. And it's become a little bit of a touchy subject with a lot of clients. As I said, as First Glance gets into later, much later in the fall, maybe even into the winter, he's going to find it very tough in some of those classes. I think selling him, and to be honest, that's not true. I think he'll make it to Harrisburg. I think Harrisburg, and he's a bigger colt now, a big gray colt, no soundness issues, that can pace 53.5's worth money to someone. The problem is with a horse like him, he's not going to be able to. Yonkers, they go 52, 53 every night. It's very difficult to find a class for a horse like First Glance. Now, he has between now and then to prove that he can that he can keep coming forward, that he does not need to be sold, but I just don't foresee that happening. And I know there's a lot of people saying, well, can we not wait and see? No, we can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because every time this has happened before, I told you guys all summer, we're going to learn from our mistakes, right? I'm going to learn from the mistakes we made in the past. One of the mistakes was hanging on to horses too long. You expect them to race better and do good and advance and move up the classes. They don't. Then they're worth a fraction of what they were when you could have sold them. The only place I know First Glance can race is in a condition claimer. The only problem is he's worth a lot more than the condition claiming tag. So why would I possibly race him until he gets in tough and then race him in a condition claimer? It makes no sense. So we'll race him out of his classes that he's manhandling right now. We'll give him an opportunity, but at the same time, he likely will be entered in Harrisburg for sale. Aglaire AM has been racing good, continues to, this is a filly that's getting better and better and better and better and better. Another horse, do we have a place for this filly to race? I don't know. I'm not sure that we do or we don't. We're going to find out. We're going to proceed cautiously with, why does it tell me to go back and around and in and out? Why does it tell me to do that? I see why. So Aglaire AM is a horse that we are going to race throughout the fall and see how she is. Now, we're going to have the same people say, well, how come she's not in the sale? Well, I'm going to tell you why she's not going to be in the sale. Because a trotting mare that can trot in 54, 55, put money on her card is worth a lot more than a pacing colt, a pacing gelding. That's the reality of horse racing. She's a well-bred filly. She gets over the ground well, and she really hasn't been able to put any consistent miles together, which leads me to believe that her best races are in front of her. So we will see what happens with Aglaire AM moving through the fall into the winter here at the stable. I'm a Lovely Lady. I got to be honest, and nobody has heard this before now. She bled her last start at the fair. I told you guys her last 2 starts, we couldn't really put our finger on what the hell was going on. Just seemed to be a power outage with this filly. What happened? I think we know where it might have sprung a leak. That night she got parked the whole way with me and then chased designer specs at Northfield. Could have pushed her a little bit in the heat. That's possible. Everybody looks at Lasix as when, they're on Lasix, I guess they're screwed. But that's not really the case. Lasix is a therapeutic drug in the way that this medication can help her throughout. None of these horses, we had to put Slim Jimmy on Lasix. None of these horses have to stay on Lasix forever. There's no Timel Houdini just come off Lasix as a 5-year-old. So there's nothing written in stone that says they have to stay on it forever. I'm a Lovely Lady. It made sense that she bled, but we scoped her 2 starts ago, and we didn't see any blood. But we scoped her after the race. Maybe if we had waited another 45 minutes, you might have seen a little trickle come up. We had scoped her after the fair. Her last start, and it was the fair, right? Yeah, when she was flat for Justin Irvine that day. And we scoped her when we got back to the barn, and sure enough, she did bleed. So she's entering the Lasix program. I'm actually happy, because I was a little perplexed as to what happened with this filly. I know how tough she is, so it wasn't a sense that, oh, she got her heart broken, so she all of a sudden shut off. That's not I'm a Lovely Lady. She's never not looked for a fight in her life. So it was really hard for me to believe that that's what happened. What did happen was she was bleeding a little bit. So she'll enter the Lasix program now, and we'll race her whenever she's allowed, I think in another 5-6 days. Where are we at? Jazzy Judy. I went on and on and on about Jazzy Judy today. There's nothing more I can say. She trained absolutely fantastic. No hobbles on today. None. No hobbles on today. Mile 58 off half and 1-1. That's 2 seconds faster virtually than she's ever been in her entire life. By herself virtually on a half-mile track with no hobbles on. So in an unbelievably impressive mile for Jazzy Judy today at Northfield Park. She's ready to go. So I guess we'll have to qualify her with her hobbles on. No, in Pennsylvania. Wait, she hasn't raced for 6 weeks. She has to qualify anyway. Don't worry about it. Miss Meringue is in Ontario. She's in to go Wednesday at Grand River. Trying to get her on a roll, find some classes for her. There just really was nothing here, and that sounds silly. Somebody said, well, what about the fairs? The fairs are littered with Buckeye horses right now. Littered. There's no easy race. Mama Knows Best got beat. Those are 2 of the best. I'm a Lovely Lady sitting 4th or 5th in the grassroots of Buckeye right now, and finished 4th the other day at the fair. Mama Knows Best is like 12th, and she was 2nd at the fair the other day. So there's no cakewalks at the fair right now for sure. And Miss Meringue, we just sent her home because that's where there was place to race her. Mama Knows Best has been great, raced great again the other day. So proud of this filly. She just turned into a nice race. She's going to turn into a nice race mare. She's just quieter now, does her work, understands racing. I really like what I see in her. My Jazz, I think we got her sorted. We had done some vet work on her, and there was a withdrawal time in the medication that was used. So she can't race until the 7th or 8th of September, which is fine. I think the next fair for her is the 14th, 13th, 14th, something like that. No free lunch. Wait now. Oh, yeah, she's down here. Now we got to put her on here. No free lunch again. Obviously, you guys know No Free Lunch injured himself. He will be a winter racehorse for us. I'm just typing something. He will be a winter racehorse for us. Very, very happy. Not very happy that he got injured, obviously, but happy that it wasn't as severe as it could have been. And No Free Lunch will make it back. This is the same injury virtually that Will to Win Hanover had. She's jogging now and looks 100% sound. No residual problems from that. So he'll make it back. Where are we at right now? No Free Lunch. Northern Blizzard's on his way over to Ohio Sunday morning. He was supposed to leave Friday. There was a screw up with the papers and they didn't get them stamped in time. So he can't come until Sunday morning. He'll be over here in Ohio. You might say, why is he in Ohio? Because I want to fix that foot up. I want to get some weight off him. I want to get him rolling. And the numbers are 2 at Mohawk is too tough. We can race him at the Meadows, a 5/8 mile track, which would make more sense than trying to race him at Flamborough or Grand River. And if we have to race him on a half, fine. We still have the option to race him at Northfield, or we can go down to Dayton when it opens up also. There's just more options for Northern Blizzard here in Ohio right now. Perfect Record is training back now. Probably snapping the bike, go a little quicker with him next week. He's looking good. He's put some weight on. He looks great. Rose Run, why not? Flat race the other day, but had the 8-hole on a half-mile track. You know, you're 9th at the half at Northfield. Just go back to the paddock. There's a very, very small chance you're going to do any good. I tried to overcome it and try to get around the dead wood in the middle of the track down the backstretch. Couldn't make up enough ground, and we ended up getting beat up, but that's fine. Rose Run, why not? I'll bounce back. So and Sue. I talked to you guys about what had happened with her. We had bought her. Her mouth was a little rough. Had I known it was that rough on the inside, I really shouldn't have raced her the other day. You know, if you go back and watch the race, she just didn't want to race. She cantered going to the gate, and then finally when I got her set, she took off. The race was already over. She's long gone by then. I think once we clean that mouth up, she'll be 100% fine. She was not as advertised the other day. She was actually very good. Sweet Ambitions will race back. I think she's entered it. Sarnia next week. I forgot dinner at Grand River. It's on me. But anyway, it was an idiotic class for her. Straight numbers of 20. She was getting beat up for no particular reason. So we'll look for a little lighter class for her. Maybe we found it in Sarnia next week. Tanzanite Tricks has been absolutely great since coming here, and I mean very good. She's going to go to Scioto on Thursday, I believe. Tipsy and Dixie's in to go this week, I believe. She's been racing great. Her sister was awesome on Saturday in the final of the Pennsylvania Sires. That entire family so far has been really, really good to the stable.ca, that's for sure. Walk on the Moon, I'm looking for a good fall out of him. I don't know when he's in to go, but he'll be in to go soon enough. That's for sure. One My Heart, Where We Welcome is in to go, and also in on gate right now. We did have a couple of calls on her, so we'll see what happens over the next couple of days with that. And then One My Heart Hanover, I saw her at the farm, made a little video for you guys of her at the farm hanging out with, who is she turned out with? Eyes of 10 and Rose Above It. All three of them look very, very good right now. So those are your 3-year-olds. And again, we didn't win any major stake races with these 3-year-olds, but had a pretty good season nonetheless. First Glance continues to be on a tear. Iglaria improved off and on that she's a very good filly, and probably a horse to watch in the near future. I'm a Lovely Lady has had a pretty good season altogether. I jumped over Italian Grit. He's present also, racing. He's likely on his way out soon enough. My apologies. Jazzy Judy, a good season ahead of her also in the Sire Stakes at Dover. Now, I did originally say we were going to put her in Harrisburg and sell her because she's probably going to be worth a lot of money, but after today, my God almighty, I was just so pumped with her, the way she trained. Mama Knows Best has had a great year. My Jazz had a terrible year, but again, trying to get her back on track. It's really late in the season. We've done the best we can. It was just freak injury, 2 of them, one after another with My Jazz. Speaking of freak injuries, no free lunch again. Cracked his coffin bone. He'll be back in the wintertime. Tanzanite Tricks has really been a breath of fresh air here later in the summer into the fall. And One My Heart Hanover, all things considered, has had a pretty good year. Freshened her up a little bit. She'll be back rolling soon enough in Pennsylvania. So I will talk to all you guys very soon. I'm at the gas station. I'm going to gas up, do some more videos for you, finish my apple. Take care.